Hello everyone. This is a little different video than what I normally do for like unboxings and things like that. What you're about to see is very special to me in several ways, which I'll shortly explain. First off, I've been an amateur paranormal investigator since the late 2000s, maybe a little into the late 90s. My close friend and I at the time, Simon, we visited some amazing locations here in Georgia, and I've done some with Mom too, just on and off over the years, of which we came away with hundreds of superb EVPs from these locations we went to, which means electronic voice phenomenon, on audio tape, because back then we didn't have digital recorders like we do now. Some photos and videos, mostly of orbs, interesting though nonetheless, and some very interesting personal experiences. The sites we checked out were Waverly Hall Cemetery outside Columbus, which also has the Crybaby Bridge, same area. The old R.J. Taylor Memorial Hospital in Hawkinsville, 3 floors of dilapidated rooms and all type of things. I came away. I went in specifically for something EVP wise, and I came out with way more than I expected. And plus 3 locations in Macons, which are the Hay House. They have personal tours you can do there. You can do there, which is interesting. If you are ever in Macon, check it out. It's a cool location, and I had some phantom scents there, like in the smoke room. There was a roving scent of cigar smoke. And I got some images outside too at night. And then down the street was the Bennett House, which is a personal residence, but the people at the Hay House let us know about them, because below, 1 floor below them, is this well-known pool, a fresh spring pool that had benches around it and a painted roof on the dome, and it was beautiful. I mean, it had this echo quality, so I got a lot of interesting EVPs out of there. And the city's huge cemetery. I mean, it takes probably an hour and a half, maybe, to go from one side to the other, and there's so much history in there, and tons of EVPs from there as well. And those were all done in a few days, back to back, when I had time. Some of these visits were actually printed in the awesome Weird Georgia book by Jim Miles, which I highly recommend. And that was a surprise to me, because I did not expect it at all. And I wish he had let me know, because I didn't get a chance to proofread the entries, so there's some errors in there I wish I could have fixed for him before he actually did that. And I didn't know about the book myself until one day I went into Barnes & Noble's up in Augusta, and I just went over the Georgia section to see what they had in books for, ghost stories and things like that. True ghost stories, not fake ones. And I saw Weird George. Oh, that's cool. I always wanted to have a book about all the unusual things that go on here in the state. I open the book up, and the first thing I land on is one of my stories. How ironic. So, as you can guess, I'm very open to discussing esoteric subjects like life after death, ghosts, parallel dimensions, cryptids, all type of things. And that's one of my favorites on YouTube, like What Lurks Beneath. I think that's the one channel I watch. He does a great job on his videos, and many others. But this aspect is very important in regards to the video that you're going to see. I don't fake paranormal activities like on some ghost hunter shows. I don't have any reason to do that. If I get something profound on video, it's not set up in advance to come off as strange and unusual. It happened right there and then. And I have some videos, like from my old house that we used to live in, which was from the turn of the century, early 1900s, not this century. And it had its fair share of paranormal activity as well. Some really interesting orb shots, but every time I try to compile them together to put them on here on YouTube so you can see them, the sound keeps getting out of sync on them. I can't figure it out. Anyway, I have some other of those as well, but hopefully one day I can get them up. I've always desired a crystal clear ghostly activity recorded recording, either in daylight or night, and I have something like that. But now, that wish was granted thanks to a departed friend that just passed. And that's concerning this video. Alright. The event in this, what you'll see, comes from a departed co-worker and friend that always used the nickname Pug. And he passed at the young age of 73 last Thursday, October 5th, 2023, just to keep this in the video here. Throughout our time together, working at the same business, delivering furniture and such, we would talk about life, the universe, and everything when he was in the mood while driving around to customers' houses, or so forth. Though he comes from a highly religious Baptist background, he was still very open to other avenues of thought, which I highly appreciated. Because of this aspect, I was one of the first people, I guess, he thought of to reach out to upon leaving this mortal coil, since he knew I wasn't fearful of spiritual communication or paranormal situations. Okay, now that that's out of the way, the setup for the video you will see is as follows. On Monday, October 9th, I was back in the warehouse working on some Christmas toy items that'll be put out next month, when I heard a familiar four-knock sound to my left, which went like this, like that. It's kind of like a shaving a haircut, but that's not it. It was more like he liked to do that sometimes when he walked by stuff. And when I looked over that way, I saw one of our standing fans blades spinning down, like he had hit it with his hand and spun it. I instantly knew it had to be Pug. I mean, who else could it be? He just passed, and it's the best way to grab my attention, because there's nothing else in the warehouse that is going to be useful in that regard. Because a fan, spin it, hey, I'm going to notice it. You try to, there's too many heavy boxes and other things that wouldn't be useful in his regard. Vocally, I called out his name and hopeful greeting and said if it was him to do the same thing again, his knock and blade spin. I waited a bit. The effort must have been too much for him at the time, so I guess had to regain his strength to be able to push that fan blade. So I went and told my boss and coworker that about the event, giving them both a surprise. Like, really? He's here? Oh, that's great. I'm surprised they more freaked out. Some people are. I'm not. So I returned to the warehouse, began work on something else Christmas-wise, and a few minutes into it, I heard that knock again, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw the fan blades start, spun and started going down again. It was like, hit it, and it spun down. Again, vocally, I gave thanks to his visit, knowing now that he was letting me know everything was fine, since I did ask him to do it. He did it. Like before, I told my co-workers about the situation, with more surprise by them, though they will each get their own greeting in turn later in the day. Now we come to the video in question. Back at the table, at the work table I was using, which we have in the warehouse, I told Pug that I would like to get his actions recorded, and as to show others, just saying it did only means so much to some folks. Visual evidence is what's most desired. I mean, most people want to see it, not just hear about it. And, of course, he knew that. Holding up my phone, I asked what you will see about 6 or 7 times on and off. If nothing happened in a few seconds, I would stop it, restart it again. And on the 8th, magic happened. Now, there was a bit of silence before the event, but I wanted to leave the footage as it is, though it is only a minute or 8 seconds in length. So there's a little bit of gap between my question, me saying something and then it actually happened. But for me, this video is more special than proof of afterlife, which I already knew full well from years of research and a lot of personal mind-opening events, mostly from 95 to 2000s. I had a lot of interesting things happen, especially dreams that I can remember from beginning to end, and I was able to create a dream journal of every one of them, and some of them really profound, and also a visit from a friend. For me, it Pug did something that neither my late father, none of my past grandparents or departed family members, mostly on my mother's side, or even my late close friend ever accomplished. None of them came around and greeted me with a hi and bye for now in spirit form to move a familiar object that I would immediately connect them with. I mean, this is amazing. They all knew that it wouldn't have freaked me out, so I don't understand why they never did it. Really had no excuse. So I hope you understand the important foundation to what you're about to see. Thanks for watching. Pug, please, come do your knock in the fan trick. Let me show everybody that you're here. You know as well as I do that I have to give them proof. I have to show them it's you, instead of just me saying, hey, you did it twice. Come on, Pug. Thank you. Thank you. Do it more. Faster, 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 faster. Oh, thank you, Pug. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. We'll chat again soon.